So that's Emerald City smoothie that we're having today. And, well, James is actually the Emerald City smoothie. Mine's a little adaptation, but we're having with blackberry smoothie. And that's James's dinner. I don't know if he'll want it. We have a lot of stuff to go through with the smoothies. So, Bridge of Spies got top of the stack against these other things here. So, James has a lot to say about Frownland. This is where I got the Emerald City smoothie recipe from, and it's on page 70. So there it is. And I did it a little bit differently. That was about the same. Then when I got to the apple, these other things are optional. I didn't put them in. The apple, I put in James's, a bit of the apple, but I didn't put it in mine. So what I did to sweeten mine up is I put stevia in it, and I put a fair amount, because yesterday when I made the ruby red smoothie, well, I should show you my outfit. So these wonderful pants were given to me by my sister, and my favorite fabric to wear is linen. I love linen. So
is it fairly light then?
I don't know, it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good to wear.
It's good summer wear now.
Yeah.
The Egyptians, I think, is good linen.
It's wonderful. So I'm a big fan of flax. Now, neither one of these, my smoothie got all it's now
smooth,
liquidy at the bottom and thick up here, which that's not good. But I had to wait a minute before I drank it. James is going to be totally thick. When I read that recipe, I'm like, nope, they didn't make it that way. It's obvious to me because I make a lot of recipes, and I knew it was going to be too thick, right? It is tasty. So when I looked at the recipe, I thought, did they use celery juice and apple juice? I bet they did. I don't know. But I followed the recipe and I added a lot more water to it when I mixed it. And I put stevia in mine to sweeten it. It's delicious. So, I got stuff on my linen pants. That's the thing. I'm so messy. So messy.
Not
anyway.
Like yesterday. You were having troubles yesterday for some reason.
Yeah.
Today, that's about the first thing to go wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty relaxed today. So, I didn't put the dates and I didn't put the ginger in James's. I just put maybe a third of an apple. But it's going to be way too thick. I brought him apple juice. So he can drink his blackberry thing. And then try to spoon out a little bit of his Emerald City smoothie. And then, so the Emerald City kraut recipe that goes in here. So I was really skeptical when I saw the recipes for smoothies using kraut. I'm like, those are going to be disgusting. Nobody would drink those. This one, the one yesterday, I don't know. James thought it was okay.
I liked it.
He liked it.
But then I had the sparkling.
Yeah, he had sparkling cranberry in it.
And that might have made all the difference.
But this one's delicious. I mean, there's few things I love more, I think, than the taste of cucumber juice in the summer. So refreshing. So this has a fair amount of cucumber in it.
Even like water with a little bit of cucumber stuff in it. It's refreshing. There was one restaurant in Grand Prairie that kind of featured that.
They have it here too. It's a chain.
Okay.
I think it's called Chop Leaf or something.
There we go. If I heard that, I'd be afraid it'd be one of those cannabis stores. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, so did you want to talk about Brownland first? Get it out of the way.
Oh, yeah. I forgot my review for it. We're going.
Well, then I guess we'll have to wait till later.
I need to. I wanted to write it up. We don't have a pencil handy, do we?
Oh, yeah. But James was so dissatisfied with that one that he said he's going to write out a review.
Yeah.
It comes with a huge booklet. It was so poorly planned, it doesn't really fit in the Blu-ray case.
Yeah. I wasn't able to put the booklet back in. And either you figured it out or you'd seen the way it was when you opened it up. We'll give you the credit and say you figured it out.
I only just started Blake's 7, Series 1. This sci-fi BBC thing.
That's awful.
I put it above Brownland because James said that Brownland was that bad.
Worse.
Yeah.
You know, like, people make fun of things like Plan 9 from outer space or 6 from outer space. But that's fun to watch. It's so campy. You know, so they'll have top 10 or bottom 10 movies of all time. This is bottom 10, and it isn't fun to watch. It's that bad.
I can't taste sprout in there at all. I can't taste spinach in there at all. And there's a lot of spinach in there.
Well, that's awesome.
Yep. I mean, I can taste a bit of fennel and celery, but that's not too bad. The dominant thing is the cucumber, and that's wonderful. So
I'm going to give the definitive review for Brownland maybe tomorrow. But I'm going to talk about why. Well, I'll give the definitive. There are close-ups. The lead star is clawing his face, you know, like holding his eyes open until it brings tears. You know, I've never heard of this. They say he's got this syndrome where he can't get words out, but it's not really a stutter, and then they'll come out and flood. Okay. It's really, really hard to take. I don't think these guys are making out terribly sympathetic. Feeding again. Just when I started, just before I pressed record, there was feeding, and now feeding again. And these Downy Woodpecker parents are hard working. They are good parents. Yes. Let me tell you. So, should we talk about Clint Eastwood, the Eiger Sanction? I noticed it's fairly low. I fell asleep. James laughed. And I fell asleep. So, having said that, I don't want to go back and finish it. If that is... I'll watch it for you, but we'll give a preliminary review. It's not going to change. It won't I think I've only seen one Clint Eastwood movie in my whole lifetime. He looked very pretty. He looks very pretty. And he wasn't a spring chicken in that. He wasn't bad to watch. It's just... I don't know. This isn't even really that long. It's long. It's 129 minutes. Boy, oh boy. But it felt as though I'd watched 2 hours. I know. And they hadn't even... Eiger is a mountain in Europe someplace. Probably a Germanic area. They hadn't even got yet. They were in training. Yeah. It felt like I'd gone through 2 hours of it. So, somehow or another, Clint Eastwood's got this rep, at least as a director. I don't know if he directed this or what. But... I think I've seen some movies he's directed or whatever. I think I've seen 2 of his movies. Every Which Way But Loose, did I see that? And I saw Dirty Harry, is that what you were saying? Go Ahead, Make My Day. For sure I saw that one all the way through. But I don't even know why I went to that. I used to be a big fan of Clint Eastwood when he was, I think it was in Rawhide or something like that. Because I used to love cowboy shows. That was TV show. Well, I think every 4-year age did. Of course. Yeah, that was the thing. So, the big trouble is my parents wouldn't buy me a gun. Oh, of course they wouldn't. Yeah. And we'll leave it. Yep. So, 1975, that's when this was put out. Same year as Pauline. And Yeah, Clint Eastwood looked great. He looks really thin, like about the same sort of build as me right now, only way muscular arms, way more. he really, he did. I don't know how many of his stunts he was doing there, but
he was doing them. I think with I think they were doing a lot of green matting and stuff like that.
But yeah,
he was going along a rope.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, that was impressive arm muscles with that scene. But anyway,
good strength to weight ratio.
A lot of really hot women, all too thin.
Oh, there were.
You know, the 1970s. Boy, oh boy.
There were a lot of bikini babes. You know.
They must have really developed breast enhancement surgery by that time.
By that time.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was kind of silly because usually you go to a pool or something like that. There are people of all ages, so they're not all 18 to 22-year-old women. There are way more women than men, right?
At a pool,
the swimming
probably.
And stuff like that, and you know, all in bikinis. I don't think one was, you know, one piece or whatever. So.
Yeah, I don't know really why that is. That men don't tend to. Anyway.
Well, it was just I don't know whether they do or not, but it's 18 to 22-year-old, maybe too thin women were hanging around the watering hole. Vast profusion. You just wouldn't expect that. You go swimming, you see people, you know, of all makes and sizes and ages.
Yeah.
It was just stupid.
So, anyway.
Anyway, I was going to say about his acting, I never realized how Eastwood and his acting is.
Very
just
funny.
wouldn't. You know, Tom Selleck comes out far
we were
superior
talking
by
about that
comparison.
while we were watching this.
Isn't
We were saying, yeah, Tom Selleck is a better actor than Clint Eastwood. And it's funny, like I had never thought about it before, but
they're close contemporaries, I think, and they basically bimbos, really. So
anyway,
Eastwood more so than Selleck.
Yeah. So, I don't really have anything more to say about it.
You probably want to avoid it, unless you like.
If you want to see some good mountain scenery and some good Clint Eastwood scenery and
there's going to be a lot of
slender woman in bikini scenery.
And sometimes
you did see
bottoms
boob.
get.
You saw some boob too.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
But sometimes the bikini
nice
bottoms get a slap from.
That's true. Yeah, it's a different time. So.
It's really offensive, and I think it was about 1970, after women's liberation.
Yeah. So I guess I'll keep it around because James wants to.
I want to see the end. You know, like they won't have so many bikinis up on Eiger now. You can see.
No, that's true. What are they going to do?
Oh,
they won't even be able to show off his muscles then. So, I'm gonna take For All Mankind out of the loop, I think. Put it back at the library. It's I finished it.
Finally.
Yeah, and the hero man, he's a hero still at the end. So.
I even forgot who the hero guy was supposed to be.
Well, there's a few heroes, I guess, but there's one at the end you're like, oh, is it going to work out?
It's a hero man. I thought it was going to be a hero woman.
Well, there's hero women in this too. There's lots of heroes. And there's, seems like things are going to work out just fine.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Unlike
I don't
real
know.
life.
I don't have much to say about this. It was bothersome the way they'd have, like I mentioned in the last episode, I mentioned of our show, I mentioned the ant colony container that fell, and it's falling in like slow motion because it's falling in space, right? Or whatever.
It doesn't happen.
But then the ants fall out, and they're just on
falling.
the floor.
Yeah. Well,
You know, and the sand's on the floor. I mean, surely the container weighs more than a grain of sand and a little ant. So why aren't they floating around?
well, the container would be floating.
Yeah, why does this happen?
They wouldn't
I
even
don't
come
know.
out of the container.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but maybe there's some mystery. They've developed some sort of
Artificial gravity up there.
yeah. There's like somehow gravity in the floor, and there's not in between, like in the air
Yeah.
or something. I
That's
don't know.
they did have them drinking out of.
They had them showering. How is that happening?
Okay.
I don't understand. But this is a different reality. Like this, they have this names of real people in history, but this is not
Deep
historical.
Slate this one. Gordo.
So,
Well, I think it's Gordo Cooper, but they have a guy called Gordo Stevens. I think he's made it, but maybe not.
okay. Well, anyway, so I found it entertaining enough. I watched it while working out, and for the most part, some with James. I enjoyed it. Something in the dirt. This is a sci-fi-ish sort of thing. You don't know really what's going on. And you definitely don't know that if something's in the dirt or not.
Well,
But it's something, but they don't really know. So I'm
okay.
actually going to talk about this later because I'll talk about it with fractals. But I will say that this was 115 minutes, put out in 2022. It
That's
was
getting
too
up there.
long. They should have.
That's 5 minutes short of 2 hours.
Yeah, they should have edited because this has a art school sort of feel to it. Not
Painful.
really high production values or anything like that.
Yeah, if you go to art school, get a real
So,
job. Forget about
Yikes.
art, and particularly,
But,
don't
having
be
said
the
that-
Yoko Ono thing and be doing music and poetry. You guys are useless.
So, Bridge of Spies. So James is probably going to talk about this for the remainder of the episode.
Good dude.
Yeah, because
Quite well done.
He really liked it. It's a
I
Steven
heard
Spielberg thing.
Spielberg thing, and
Yeah.
you know, like sometimes when you get ready for something really sweet, like stevia, you kind of. Do you have this with stuff that's too sweet? You say it's going to be too sweet. But Steven Spielberg, I get ready for sentimentality a little bit, and don't expect that really. Tom Hanks,
That tasted better.
great
than
job.
this.
You know,
But these blackberries weren't in great shape.
too bad. They look pretty good
Yeah.
when I meandered a glance over them. But Tom Hanks,
Add some
was
stevia to
his
that.
first hit big or something like that when he was playing oversized kid? Big?
Mhm.
Yeah. I saw that. And
Yeah.
I've seen him kind of grow up, you know, and you know,
And as an actor,
mature
too.
as an actor.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. He did a great job in here. These characters, like I was saying to Pauline, there's a guy called, I hadn't looked at the cover, I just saw Spies, but Powers, they were a minute ago. I think that's Gary Francis Powers, the YouTube, he wasn't the first YouTube pilot, but the first one to be brought down. And he didn't, spoiler alert.
So this is actually based on history.
Yeah, it's based on
Yeah.
history. And then the other guys, I was going, oh yeah, who's that guy, Abel, you know, the guy they exchanged. So spoiler alert, they exchanged him for Powers, because Powers became a prisoner of war. Of course, Abel was not a prisoner of war, and you know that's one thing that they get wrong here. You know, this guy, Tom Hanks plays the lawyer who defended Abel, a guy called Donovan. And Irish on both sides of the family, according to the movie script. And, you know, he's defending Abel and he's saying, you know, we should treat him the way we would want Gary Francis Powers treated. Well, it just doesn't work out that way with the comedies. You know, the standards are very low. And, you know, I don't believe in treating people poorly when they are prisoners of war. You know, they definitely shouldn't be worked to death the way the Soviets and the Nazis did, and so on and so forth. But they should just be given enough to get by on. More than food and water. They should get water, but nothing fancy. They probably should be in solitary confinement. They shouldn't be tortured. They should be questioned and not interrogated. In other words, like sleep deprived or anything like that. There actually is a way, I'm amazed they haven't figured out how to do it, where you could be asking questions with a lie detector and you'd be able to get anything you wanted out of them. Just by, I'm not going to say the method because I don't want certain spy agencies to get hold of it. And I'm not talking about the CIA folks. I'm not even talking about the FBI. I am talking about the Ruskies. And I'm not talking about the Mossad, but I am talking about any sort of Muslim flunkies getting hold of my method of questioning, not interrogation. But the Abel is not the equivalent of Gary Francis Powers. He is what's called in the terminology I think it's an illegal combatant. So what does that mean? He's fighting a war. It's not a declared war, but it is a Cold War. He is hiding amongst civilians. He's not wearing an insignia. He's not wearing a uniform. Insignia would be like a badge or something like that. All that, just one of those things makes him a non-combatant. And he doesn't have any rights under the Geneva Conventions and or the Hague Conventions. None. Now, be skeptical. Check it up. Don't be cynical and say, oh, he's got it wrong. The idiots that were roped in by the Americans, at least the terrorists, back when they went into Afghanistan. I don't know about the Taliban Pakistanis. I don't know if they were wearing uniforms, but all the terrorists, they're hanging around as civilians, attacking civilians, all that sort of stuff. They were illegal combatants. The Americans gave them way more than they were entitled to. What was that?
They're eating again.
Of course, yeah. They've got to grow. They've got to get out of there, get all full-fledged. It must be really tough when they're coming out of those nests. You wouldn't want to be a procrastinating little bird. You know why?
Why?
You're too big to get out of the nest.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think so because the mom, she just went right in there. So
she can do it.
She can do it.
I didn't realize that they went all the way in. That's very impressive.
She just did.
Well, I know.
She was feeding them, and then I guess she decided, I better go all the way in.
Yeah. See, I'm skeptical, but I'm not cynical. I actually trust Pauline to say what she sees. Right? Yep. So, Abel is not the equivalent of Gary Francis Powers. One other thing, so spoiler alert, Donovan is able to finagle another person out of the commies. These Germans kidnapped this person. He was a grad student or something like that, studying economics. And the way it's portrayed is very kind. It's portrayed this guy is on a bike, and he goes through the wall as it's being built from West Berlin into East Berlin. As soon as he makes it through, he's snaffled up by the Stasi, the East German secret police. And I'm going, well, unless that guy wrote a memoir and said that's what happened, my working hypothesis is the Stasi, who would have had their agents working in West Germany, just went and snaffled up an exchange student in West Berlin, or even in West Germany, in order to have a hostage and things like that. They had very low moral standards and ethical standards, and that applies to all the countries anyway. They have really no more. Their idea is anything goes so long as it serves their ultimate ethical imperative or whatever. How much time? 5?
4.5.
4.5. Man,
I'm just going to put this on as a little hat.
Anyway, Bridge of Spies. It comes, if you're into this sort of thing, I recommend it. But I wouldn't say highly recommend it. There's these things. It's a little bit political. Like, Americans are way above that. And, you know, when you're dealing with people like commies, when you're dealing with people like Nazis, when you're dealing with people like the mafia, you are dealing with, well, one book, it might be this, it's got a quote, from a defector from the mafia. They are the scum of the earth. And really, when it comes to people like the mafia, understand we're getting our mafia here. We already have Italianos, and not all of them, but way too many of them. And we're getting the South Asian community. They're starting to do extortion in their own communities. That's how the mafia started in the United States. Don't believe me. Be skeptical. Check it up. You'll find out that that's what they were doing. First of all, they were exploiting their own communities, and they just got too big for their britches. Same thing's happening with the South Asians. It would be with the East Asians. It would be with the Russians, however many were letting in and stuff like that. You can't allow that to happen. And really what they should have done is declare war on the mafia. They are a foreign entity invading here. And really what they should do is have military tribunals for trying them. Why? Because people who first of all just witness against them but don't necessarily testify, they are going to get whacked. Is it going to be? It has happened again and again and again, and we are silly fools to let it happen. We've got to wipe the mafia out here. I don't care what they do in Italy, but here in the democracies, New World, in the rest of Europe, they've got to get wiped out.
I have mentioned this to James before.
Yeah.
I think that the solution is, I don't know how it works with affirmative action or anything like that. I know that if you're, it used to be anyway, you could check a box that you wanted to, that to be considered when you were getting a government job. So that if you were, say if I'm a woman, and I'm applying for a job that is mostly men, I would probably get it as a woman, so if I check that box, right? So you don't have to check it. But anyway, and I think that's good that you have that option so that people aren't looking into your business that way if you don't want them. But now, if we look at giving, like you get a job based on if you're a minority. Okay, if you're a visible minority, then you might have a better chance of getting a job with that. But does that look at, are you a global visible minority? Because if that's just a visible minority in Canada, but you're like the most, there's...
If you're Han Chinese.
Exactly. Then that's not right.
You are...
And then also, to fix the problem with ghettoization, you could have it so that you can check the box for visible minority or female or whatever in a specific region. So say there's probably a lot of men working in
Fort McMurray?
Yeah, sure, Fort McMurray.
Grand Prairie.
Yeah. So you might get a better job as a woman